to pay for the debt that has been rescheduled. It is only when the
Also ahead in the bulletin, Speaker of Parliament Alban Bagbin vows to ensure that the EC conducts the upcoming presidential and parliamentary elections in a fair and transparent manner to avert chaos.
People sometimes take so many things for granted, including my colleagues in Parliament. But we all get witness what happened in Kenya. It's now in Tanzania. It could be in Ghana.
Later on, RTI Commission imposes 1 million cedis in fines on 23 state agencies for refusal to honor information requests as it recovers over 2 million cedis in penalties. Details of these stories and many more, including sports, all coming up in the next 30 minutes. Stay tuned in. Star News is coming to you live on Ultimate 106.9 FM in Kumasi, Empire 102.7 FM in Takrady, Zeps 95.9 FM in Zebila, Nissim 100.1 FM in Lamshao, My Star Radio in the USA. Also live on Facebook on Star 1035 FM and on starfm.com.gh around the world. This is Star 103.5 FM. Star News. Informed, in depth, in touch. You're welcome once again to the Starr Midday News on Star 103.5 FM here in Accra. If you're listening to us around the world, you're on starfm.com.gh. We're coming to you live from our studios here at the Platinum Place in Accra. My name is Naa Dedei Tettey. To the details of our stories now, and banking consultant Dr. Richmond Ituahene is urging government to institute measures to build up the country's reserves to ensure it is able to repay its loans when the times are due, as the IMF and the Bank of Ghana prepare to address the country on the way forward after the release of the third tranche under the extended credit facility. Now, Ghana is expected to receive the third tranche of the IMF's $3 billion bailout later today after the executive board of the Bretton Woods institution approved a $360 million payout to the country. Now, this decision came after Ghana finalized a deal with its official creditor committee, a prerequisite to unlock the second tranche. Now, there is more in the following report. The IMF stated that Ghana's economic reform program is delivering on its objectives, with growth proving more resilient than expected, inflation declining faster, and the fiscal and external positions improving. The IMF also noted that Ghana has continued to make progress on its comprehensive debt restructuring, reaching agreements with its official creditor committee and Eurobond holders, which provided the necessary financing assurances for the second review under the extended credit facility arrangement to be completed. Ghana is expected to receive the third tranche of the IMF's $3 billion bailout later today after the executive board of the Bretton Woods institution approved a $360 million payout to the country. Here is Ghana's Finance Minister, Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam.
We expect to receive the third tranche of $360 million by Monday, 1st July 2024, which will bring the total disbursement $1.56 billion US.
The finance minister said that further details will be disclosed later today at a press briefing.
I am very confident that we can travel this journey together and bring back an economy that is strong enough to deliver the benefits and the development to you all over the country. Further details will be provided on this during a special joint press briefing with the IMF and the Bank of Ghana on Monday, 1st July 2024 at 12 noon.
Ghana sought financial support from the IMF in 2022 due to a sharp decline in its cedi currency and soaring inflation. This economic distress was driven by the spiraling debt service costs following years of overspending, the COVID-19 pandemic, Russia's invasion of Ukraine, and the high global interest rates. So those are details of where we have come from so far in relation to the extended credit facility. We expected to receive our third tranche. And as you do know, the Ministry of Finance, there will be a press briefing there today exactly at 12. The IMF and the Bank of Ghana, in a joint press briefing, will be addressing the country on the way forward. We'll be speaking to our reporter on the ground as to whether that briefing has already started. But while we wait to connect with him, we can also hear from a banking consultant, Dr. Richmond Etiahene, who is urging the government to ensure that measures are in place to shore up the country's reserves so that when the times are due for the repayment of the loans, we will be in the position to do so.
Well, the debts became an albatross hanging on our head. At least managing to even bring it to a successful end. That, from that aspect, is a very good news because it's been hanging on too long. And it creates uncertainties in the financial market. But now that we have managed to bring it to a close, it means that the market would at least settle so that there will be calmness in the market. So for me, for that aspect, it's a very, very good news.
Some say it is a good indicator to opening up the country to international financial markets. Is that the case?
I think those who haven't read the literature they will get it wrong. The nearest you can go to the market, according to literature, is 2 years. The nearest. Some even take countries like Greek took 8 years before you can enter into the capital market. The reason being is that it is now that you're going to look at the microeconomic challenges, especially inflation rocketing, CD depreciating, your balance of payment position not in a good position, and also your projections. I mean, what am I going to do? The reason why I don't normally consider this as a big news is that the problem is that when the payments actually started crystallizing, but one will be 2026, the bilateral, and then the multilateral is going to happen in 2029. The first thing that we have to build ourselves, what are we going to do to be able to build reserves, foreign reserves, to be able to pay for the debt that has been rescheduled? It is only when this strategy has been designed, and then I will say we are on the right path. But if we're going to go the same way, like depending on cocoa, and when cocoa is nowhere to be found, depending upon gold, where we only get about 13 to 14%. It will be very difficult for the years ahead.
You had the banking consultant, Dr. Richmond Etiahene. And speaking of that joint press briefing that is supposed to happen between the IMF as well as the Bank of Ghana, we understand that it is just about kicking off, and we will bring you details of that in our subsequent bulletins. But let's remain with issues relating to finances and the economy as well as taxes and levies. Well, traders and business leaders in the country are calling for the complete removal of the electronic transactions levy, e-levy, on mobile money transactions. Now, implemented 2 years ago by the government, the e-levy was intended to raise additional revenue to support government programs. The applicable charge has undergone reviews to protect lower income consumers, but has had limited impact. GH1 and Starr News' Rosemond Akwoko Ajete has been engaging the business community and came through with this report.
Mobile money has significantly improved financial inclusion in Ghana since its introduction, bridging the gap for the unbanked and providing employment opportunities, particularly for the youth. According to the Bank of Ghana's summary of the economic and financial outlook for the first 4 months of the year 2024, the total value of mobile money transactions reached 779.1 billion Ghana cedis, representing a 41.55% year-on-year growth. However, data revealed a slight decline in March 2024 to 181.9 billion Ghana cedis, followed by an increase to 203 billion cedis in April 2024. Despite its positive impact on economic growth and financial inclusion, the business community argues that high tax burdens, including the e-levy, have driven many to revert to using physical cash.
Because of the e-levy, even if you want to send to somebody, if the person is not far, what the person will say is that maybe if you think you are not far, you meet me here and give me the money. Because I can sit here and send money to somebody in Timpani or even in Boku here. But imagine sending money up to 50,000 or 10, a huge money. Then either you go to the station and get a colleague or a friend who is going to maybe Boku or Bolga, then you give the money to the person, or you go to the bank.
The Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Chamber of Telecommunications, Engineer Dr. Kenneth Ashigbe, noted that although the levy was reduced to 1%, the sector is experiencing only nominal growth. He expressed hope that the levy would be scrapped.
I'm hopeful that come January 2025, whether it is Vice President Baumia or is ex-President John Mahama who are president, e-levy will not be a thing.
You had the executive director of the Chamber of Telecommunications, Engineer Kenneth Ashigbe. They're ending that report. You're still listening to the Starr Midday News on Star 103.5 FM. Let's talk about issues relating to the RTI, the Right to Information Law. Well, the Right to Information Commission in 2023 imposed a total fine of 1 million cedis on 23 state agencies for refusing to honor requests for information. The commission also recovered over 2 million cedis in administrative fines in the year under review. Now, this was revealed by Information Minister Fatima Abubakar when she appeared in Parliament to brief the House on the status of the implementation of the RTI Act. The minister urged state agencies to readily comply with the Act when information requests are made.
Mr. Speaker, on administrative penalties and recoveries, the Commission imposed administrative penalties to the sum of 1 million Ghana cedis on 23 non-compliant public institutions in the year 2023. At the end of the reporting year, the Commission had made recoveries of administrative penalties to the tune of 2,043,571.44 Ghana. This includes administrative penalties imposed in the preceding year of 2022 and 2021. Mr. Speaker, on applications for access to information, the successful implementation of the RTI law in Ghana partly depends on the demand for access to information by individuals, institutions or groups. In accordance with Section 1 of the Act 989, a person is the one who has the right to information and may apply for access to that information.
You heard the Information Minister Fatima Abubakar there. This is still the Starr Midday News on Star 103.5 FM. Let's switch our attention to issues relating to elections. This is your election hub here on Star 103.5 FM and all our affiliates across the country, including GH1 Television, Empire FM in Takrady, and Ultimate FM in Kumasi. Well, the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Kingsford Sumbana Bagbin, has assured Ghanaians that his office will ensure that the EC conducts the upcoming presidential and parliamentary elections in a fair and transparent manner. Now, he wants that the country could face issues similar to Kenya if proper measures are not taken. The Speaker gave the assurance during a press soiree in Kumasi.
The 2024 election is a very serious election, and I want all of you to be up to the game. The place, as usual, is heating up. We don't want to experience any violence. We want to have a free fair, transparent, and credible elections. I am not waiting for anybody. I have taken up the mantle with the support of leadership in Parliament, both MPs and staff. We are reaching out to all stakeholders, and I made this known on the floor. So I held a meeting with chairperson of the commission, and she gladly embraced the initiative for us to work together to make sure that the process and the operations and the D-Day and after all becomes free, fair, transparent, and credible. I have reached out on this matter to the Chief Justice. She agrees we should do that. As I told the nation, I'll reach out to the President on it. The President, as you know, is permanently now caught up in global activities. So most of the time, he's not in the country. His substitute, the Vice President, is a candidate. And he's all over the country struggling to capture votes. It's not easy to get him to sit down to discuss this. But we have put a process in place to sit with them to discuss this matter. I reached out to our illustrious king, Otunfo, on this matter. He agrees totally with me, and he will put his hands to the wheel. I've reached out to other kings of the nation, and they are supportive of it. I met the chairperson of the National Commission for Civic Education. She gladly welcomes it.
You heard there the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Kingsford Sumana Bagbin. Let's remain with the issues relating to elections, because leadership of the opposition National Democratic Congress have served notice that the party has mapped out a strategy to match any rigging machinery ahead of the December general elections. The party says it has taken note of comments suggesting that the governing New Patriotic Party has a strategy to win the elections by all means, including stealing votes. Now, speaking on the Ultimate Breakfast show in Kumasi, national organizer of the NDC, Joseph Yamin, warned that the NDC will respond in equal measure. He calls this stealing for stealing challenge.
Whether they like it or not, whether it's a free and fair election or not, John Mahama will be president 2024, 7th December. 2025 is swear him in.
That you know for a fact.
Of course.
Please, let's get this down.
Put it down.
Let's get this down.
9th December, I'll come to this very studio. You ask me how we did it. And people, what did they do? To the people who are deceiving Mahmoud Bawumia that we can rig election for you, his problem.
Okay.
You have given him false hope. When they were coming to power, they say, oh, the battle is the Lord. Now they are in power, they say the battle is Reagan.
They changed that tag.
Have you heard? When was the last time you heard them say that the battle is the Lord? So now the battle is Reagan.
Okay.
Samuel makes a statement that we'll win the election with a strategy. What strategy is that? Look, if they steal, we will steal.
Oh, really?
Of course.
No, we can't be saying this.
So when they are stealing, we should sit and clap for them.
I'm not saying clap for them, but there are rules of the game.
And if the person is stealing, you say I should sit down and clap for the person.
No, don't clap for them, but there are rules of the game.
What would I do? Tell me.
That is why when you go to the centers, there are procedures.
That is why I'm saying that if there are means of making Mahmoud Bawumia, unfortunately the president by rigging, we will rig.
Well, Joseph Yamin also described the calls from the governing NPP's national organizer, Henry Nana Boakye, for a presidential debate as a waste of time.
There shouldn't be.
It's a waste of time.
How do you
bring Mahmoud Bawumia to debate President John?
They're in the same category in terms of leading political
parties.
They are leading political parties.
No. How do you bring Napu to debate Professor Jane?
They've both been at the education ministry before. So why not?
They all have professor.
No, they don't have. One has got a doctorate, one has got a professorship.
Okay. But the other one, before attaining a professor, has about 4 doctorates. You know that?
Okay.
That's about 8 masters.
Does that matter?
It matters.
This is about substance.
It opens your brain. You think that anybody can go to school and come and learn and be starting, even in the doctorate. I mean the the medical profession.
What would be your reason for not supporting?
Everybody goes.
Are you afraid?
To go and study science, but
Are
some
you
go
afraid?
and do nursing. Some go in to do midwifery. Even in the medical field, some are dentists.
Yeah.
And some are physicians.
Yeah.
It takes your brain to go there. There are levels.
You had there the national organizer of the opposition NDC, Joseph Yamin, speaking on Ultimate's breakfast show with Julius Anadem. This is still the Starr Midday News on Star 103.5 FM. Let's move on and bring you some other stories right after the elections. We can turn our attention now to issues relating to security because there are some concerns coming in on the back of the rumors that made the rounds that the Inspector General of Police was going to be removed from office. There have been tons and tons of reactions coming in relation to that. Well, MP for Wa West and member of the Defence and Interior Committee of Parliament, Peter Lanchene-Tobu, has urged the Minister of Interior, Henry Quartey, to address rumours about plans by the government to replace the IGP, Dr. George Kufu-Dampare. Now, he says, despite the police services rebuttal describing the rumours as false, government, as the appointing authority, needs to bring closure to the matter by publicly addressing it. He wants that the rumours could create unnecessary tension in the service. He spoke on the Morning Star.
People probably do not understand these things. The position of Inspector General of Police is the most insecure position in government appointment. Why? Because the day you are appointed, the next morning you are on your way out on daily basis. Until one day the president decides to say, yeah, today is the day, and you're out. So if somebody says that, oh, they are removing the IGP because of the report, there is nowhere in the Constitution, and it has never been the practice, that even if the president decides to remove an Inspector General of Police, he's bound to assign reasons. Nobody has ever done that. Come what is me. I think that I have heard the stories, and I've also read from the police that we should disregard such very evil rumors, because there are some national security implications of rumors of this nature. And I'm expecting the Minister of Interior to issue a statement this morning, immediately. If the President intends to remove the IGP, let it be so. If that is not true, the Minister of Interior should immediately issue a statement, consolidating the statement issued by the police, and let all of us know that when we talk about matters of security in this country, it is not a joke.
You had the Member of Parliament for Wa West and member of the Defence and Interior Committee of Parliament, Peter Lanchene-Tobu. Meanwhile, the Member of Parliament for Tamale North, Alasan Suini, is blaming the politicization in the security services for the apparent tension. He spoke on GA Today on our sister station, GH1 Television.
My problem is with how this highlighted the politicization of the police service. And it is not just the police service that has been politicized. It is almost
I mean, across the public sector,
the case. It is almost the case with almost every public sector today. Yeah. For the first time in the Fourth Republic, I heard the CROSAC people some time ago hold a press conference to complain about this politicization. Speak to the ordinary man on the street, and I'm sure 7 out of 10 you meet will tell you our judiciary is politicized. Almost every relevant public institution has been politicized. The partisanship is just mind-boggling. And we need to nip that in the bud as soon as possible. Otherwise, our democracy is at risk. You go to the military now, Ghana Armed Forces, you have NDC soldiers and MPP soldiers. And it's been encouraged. Look at the recruitment processes today. Go to their passing out ceremonies. Members of parliament, ministers of states are there taking pictures and sometimes even boldly posting it on social media to say that this is their success and their achievement.
You heard the Member of Parliament for Tamale North, Al-Hassan Suhaini, there speaking in relation to the issue at hand. We will take you quickly up north following reports of as the bodies of some babies being found in a particular area. There's a statement coming in from the police in relation to this particular issue. Well, the Ghana Police Services begun an investigation into the circumstances surrounding the deaths of 2 children in Kakbayeli, a suburb of Tamale in the northern region. Now, the bodies of the children were found on June 30, 2024, in an abandoned vehicle in one of the compounds within the Kakbayeli community. The children had been reported missing on June 25, 2024. The bodies of the 2 deceased children have been deposited at the Tamale Teaching Hospital morgue for preservation and autopsy while the investigations continue. Now, Assembly member for the Kakbayeli electoral area, Alhaji Hafiz Andani, has been speaking to Star News.
Reported the case to the DOPSI units. Because of their age, they are 3 years. We could not do it with the normal procedures. We have to go through DOPSI. We reported this case. We kept on searching until this very Saturday, 29th of June, when one of the kids, who is a twin, his twin brother, told us that they left his brother with Ajia. So we're making inquiries, who is Ajia? We didn't know who Ajia is. He led us to this house. Ajia, who is a wife to Alhaji Madaha. So we quickly moved in, since he was now a key suspect. Since the twin, was able to identify this house, we invited him to the Chief Palace. He followed us to that place. We asked of the whereabouts of his wife. He called his wife. The chief made some few questions to them, which they deny of having knowledge of the kids.
You heard the Assembly member for the Kakbayeli electoral area, Alhaji Hafiz Andani. Let's now bring you the very latest in the world of sports, and Jones Aji is here. Good afternoon to you, Jones. What's in sports?
Good afternoon. So good news for Benjamin Azameti and good news for Ghanaians. Of course, Benjamin Azameti has officially qualified for the 100 meters event at the 2024 Olympics in Paris via ranking. Now, Azameti, who finished 39th on the world ranking, will represent Ghana in 100 meters and then the 4x100 meters at the Paris Olympics. So here's the full list of Ghanaians who have qualified for the Olympics for the 4x100 relay team. The team comprises Ibrahim Fuseini, Isaac Bochio, Benjamin Azameti, and then Joseph Paul Amwa. Azameti has qualified for the 100 meters as well. Rashid Saminu qualifies for the 100 meters and then 200 meters. Joseph Paul Amwa, 200 meters. Deborah Aqua, long jump, and then Rose Yeboah, high jump. Now, Black Stars and then West Ham midfielder Mohamed Kudus has called for unity and healthy competition among players of the Black Stars. Kudus was speaking at the Ghana Football Awards where he was crowned Player of the Year. He used his relationship with Abdul Fattah Issahaku as reference.
Well, as part of the new generation, one of my aims is to increase the unity and the love between us. And this season, in as much as we are competing for the award, it's a very healthy competition, and then he has pushed me a lot this season and I've pushed him a lot too. I've told him this already, but in front of everyone I want to use this opportunity to tell him how proud I am of his journey and how far he has come and what he has done this season at Leicester. And this is a source of motivation for me and him and all the upcoming players coming up. And there has been a lot of legends here. I can't mention names, but I want to use this opportunity to thank all of them because everything they have done in the past years has paved the way for us, the young ones, to get here today. So our responsibility is also pave the way even clearer for the upcoming ones and then pass the torch backwards. Thank you, everyone. Have a nice day.
Ladies and gentlemen. Now in the Euros, the round of 16 games will continue this evening when France take on Belgium at 4 p.m. while Portugal plays Slovenia at 7 p.m. That'll be all for sports. My name is Jones Aji.
Thank you very much, Jones, with the very latest in the world of sports. And that'll be it for today's edition of the Starr Midday News on Star 103.5 FM. But just before we go, a quick one coming in from that joint press briefing by the Bank of Ghana and the IMF. Well, the latest is that government and the Bank of Ghana are to sign a memorandum of understanding to recapitalize the central bank. Also, that the IMF has revised Ghana's 2024 projected GDP growth upwards from 2.8% to 3.1%. We'll bring you more of this in our subsequent bulletins. Stay tuned in to Star 103.5 FM. Thank you very much for your company. My name is Naa Dedei Tettey. Have a good afternoon.